Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. So as we go straight into our program tonight, viewers, the government plans to broaden the criteria for application eligible for assistance under the Children Life Fund and to establish a revenue mechanism for rejected applications. Now, viewers, this was confirmed by Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa, who was speaking at a post-cabinet media briefing moments ago. Government convened its first full cabinet meeting today at the Red House in Port of Spain, alongside an orientation program for incoming ministers and parliamentary secretaries. In a move consistent with campaign promise, the cabinet agreed to repeal the 2021 Act and redirect resources towards strengthening the Board of Inland Revenue, abandoning plans to operationalize the Revenue Authority. In regard to stand your ground legislation, a special committee will be established to propose legislation enabling citizens to protect themselves and their property when faced with threats from criminal actors. A separate committee will be formed to develop legislations and legislative sanctions aimed specifically at curbing home invasion, which have become a growing concern for citizens across the country. So Trinidad and Tobago, the newly Prime Minister and her team is pulling their way forward. All they need is a little time to put things in place, while we have some people, some groups already demanding from a government that have been sworn in a few days ago. But nevertheless, this is how we Trinbagonians function. You know what I love about them? They took pain and suffering. They tighten their belt till they can't tighten again. And now all of a sudden, as our government changed in a few days, they done start to demand, where was their voice 9 years ago? 9 years ago, where was their voice? So all the people, all the groups that all of a sudden demanding a change, where was your voice 9 years ago? This I am asking you tonight. Where was your voice 9 years ago? So listen to this. Earlier today, before the cabinet meeting, newly appointed chairman of the People's National Movement, Dr. Nyan Gaspi Dolly, was warning the citizens to be concerned with no sight of the Honorable Prime Minister since her swearing-in. In a post on her Facebook page, Dr. Gaspi Dolly said, whenever former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley sought medical attention, there were calls for him to account to the public about his fitness to lead and demand the same of Prime Minister Kamla Persad Bissessa. So I know Trinidad and Tobago, when Maxi Coffee was sworn in, listen to this, a PNM chairman is asking the nation, where is Kamla Persad Bissessa? But that same PNM minister, back in her time, when they sworn in Maxi Coffee, a minister, how come he didn't serve? He got a stroke. But he was collecting money from the government. Government paid for opposition. He was collecting an MP salary. But did he serve his constituency for receiving an MP salary? Why Gaspi Dolly ain't talk about that? Why Gaspi Dolly ain't talk about that? You want to ask the nation on our Facebook page, where is the newly sworn in Prime Minister? Well, tonight I am asking you, where was Maxi Coffee, a PNM minister, when he was collecting a PNM salary? Or a salary from the PNM administration? Because they were government back then. I wonder if Gaspi Dolly could address the nation concerning this. You want to charge at the new Prime Minister, but you forget you had an MP, one of your colleagues who was collecting government money, being an MP. Taxpayers had to pay for his surgery. Did he attend his constituency collecting a salary to see what went on? Gaspi Dolly, where are you right now? Where are you? So before you come out, I want to label the newly appointed Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Ask yourself, where was your colleague when he was collecting a government salary, being an MP, and the nation didn't even see him? Let me talk about him first. say something about him, and then we will address the new Prime Minister. Dr. Gasmi-Dolly posted several questions to Prime Minister. Is she really working from home? Why can't we see a picture or a video of her at work? Why is the nation outcry about such a fundamental issue being ignored? Is this the type of leadership we can expect going forward? Where reasonable questions are ignored and distractions forward as explanations? Who is leading Trinidad and Tobago? That is Gasmi-Dolly. So tonight now I Saieed Ali, want to ask Gasmi-Dolly, where is Maxi Coffee? And how much of government MP salary did he collected? Oh, and don't forget, his constituency didn't even see him. So while Gasmi-Dolly asking the country, where is the new Prime Minister, I am asking Gasmi-Dolly, where was Maxi Coffee when he was collecting pay as an MP for the PNM administration and his constituency didn't see him? You see how do swear like so? You see that? She can't talk about Maxi Coffee, but you want to ask the nation where your MP? Where the new Prime Minister is? If the new Prime Minister resting home after campaign, that's her business. That is her business, not yours. You're fast. You're out of place. Let me talk about Maxi Coffee. So at Gasmi-Dolly, how much MP salary did Maxi Coffee collected? I know for no party, you know. But fairness is fairness. Fairness is fairness. That's what I bring into all here. So the PNM people, don't just bump out your gum and say, oh, Saieed bashing Gasmi-Dolly. Ask Gasmi-Dolly how much of all your tax-paying money and how much of all your money that all your paid tax with pay for operation for Maxi Coffee, who his constituency ain't even see him. Ask yourself that. I want to talk the facts. We rolling out the facts. One by one. How much salary did Maxi Coffee collected when he was MP and the nation didn't see him? Come on, collect a salary yet. But how much did Maxi Coffee collected? Then we go talk the talk from the. Then we go talk the talk. Former top cop and now former leader of the National Transformation Alliance, Gary Griffith, has resigned his position from the party. Speaking in an interview with Real Talk Studios, Gary said his resignation has no hidden agenda and he decided to take a backseat from politics for now. Listen to this.
What I usually think is that if you're a leader and you're not successful in your mission, what you do is to step down, which is the honorable thing to do, it is the right thing to do, and allow others to continue the process to move the team forward. That is all this is. Nothing more, nothing less.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we want to thank Gary Griffith for coming up for the election, for creating a party, and we wish him all the best in his further endeavors. Gary said it seems as though citizens would rather he protect the country than lead it. He said, although the party was formed to give the nation a third choice, Trinidad and Tobago has appeared to stick to a two-party system.
The people, they continue to stick to having a two-party system. 550,000 persons voted for that out of just under 600,000. The NTA was not formed, and I don't think third parties should be formed specifically to split votes to help one party get in government or to join with another party to help them get in government.
You know, Trinidad and Tobago, tonight I want to agree with Gary here. I want to agree with him, a third party. So it just wouldn't be only an all PNM and an all UNC, some old dudes on both sides when they're watching. Somebody from a third party. Let's have new faces, new promise, new upbringing, new strategies, new governance, new laws, new legislations, new amendment, and new structure in Trinidad and Tobago. Call a good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
I'd like to say, units with this party can move forward. Don't listen to the PNM. Do what they have to do, and everything will be just smooth. They cannot listen to the PNM. PNM just trying to make some kind of something.
Thank you, my friend. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, Prime Minister continue to get the job done despite residential issues after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Real Talk viewers. Despite being left without a suitable place to work, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar is getting the job done, conducting state business from her private residence in Philippines. Nevertheless, wherever she feels comfortable in doing her work, let her do it. Let her do it. This according to Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Barry Patharat, who spoke to reporters on Wednesday as he arrived at the meeting with the PM. Listen to this.
The Honourable Prime Minister has been actively engaged in matters of state in terms of fleshing out schedules and so on for ministries and ministers. From time to time, ministers have been summoned in terms of work that is ongoing in their ministry. Prime Minister has been burning the midnight oil from time to time to make sure that matters of state are attended to and that the country continues to function properly.
Now viewers, Minister Patharat reveals that the Whitehall is infested with several health issues and claim that it is unacceptable and unsuitable for Persad-Bissessar to carry out her duties.
There's a sewer problem there. There's a moat around the facility and there are photographs and videos that have been shared where there's raw sewage in some of these areas running through the property. There has been poor maintenance of the facility itself. There are parts of the facility where the construction of baseboards and overheads and so on have received moisture.
Now viewers, he also mentioned that former Prime Minister Stuart Young never moved into the official Prime Minister residence, which was last occupied by Dr. Keith Rowley. Rowley, however, posted a video on his social media page, which shows how he left the Prime Minister official residence. The video showed that the residence was cleaned and orderly. So, did he take that video when he now entered into leadership of the PNM when he was crowned the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? I don't know, I'm asking. Minister of Public Utilities, Barry Patharat, has reaffirmed that the UNC-led government commitment to not increasing the current water and electricity rate at this time. Patharat said the new administration is guided by compassion and concerns from the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
You have several ministries, state agencies that have not been paying their bills for years. Citizens, the average citizen does not have the luxury of not paying their bills. But you have state enterprises, ministries deferring bills for years upon years while citizens are forced to pay monthly bills. And if they don't pay the bill or 1 month passes, they receive a disconnection. So there must be some level of compassion in terms of how we treat with some of these issues in the public utility sector. So in terms of immediately addressing, it will be the focus on water. As you said earlier, the Regulated Industries Commission is going through a process. While they go through their process, the policy of the United National Congress coming into government is that we will put an immediate stop to any rate increase at this time with respect to water and electricity. We have been very clear on that matter.
So Trinidad and Tobago, while Marvin Gonzalez couldn't say how much WASA owed TNTEC for electricity. It's sad. But what Marvin Gonzalez said to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, with a straight face, is that you will have to stop carrying out your kids 2 and 3 times for the month, and maybe 1 time will be nice. And that is what you want? That's what you wanted? Or let's say something. The minister also noted that in his first focus, he will be implementing water production and distribution while holding WASA accountable to public schedules. He also issued with water schedules sent out by WASA. Listen to this.
My very first focus will be on the issue of water production and water distribution. There are large swaths of the country, particularly several of our constituencies. I know my constituency in particular, Kuba South, the Member of Parliament for Sipara, the Honourable Prime Minister, the Member for Kumoto Mantala, the Member for Labri, many parts of the constituency and the country have challenges with respect to water. One of the criticisms that I had levied while being an opposition member is that while WASA gives schedules of water distribution, no one holds them accountable to that. So you cannot just produce a schedule and then there's no follow-up action with that. We have found those instances as members of parliament where we are told that you are scheduled to have water today and there's no water in the taps.
Now viewers, Pazarat also said he will be looking into a $2 million loan taken by the former government from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and noted that the real issue in WASA was water production.
The real issue with respect to WASA would not only be about water production, but about water distribution. A lot of the mains throughout Trinidad and Tobago have been there for 50, 60 years. We are all aware that the IDB has granted the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago a loan almost 4 years ago of over $200 million. Very little has been done with that loan since then, and it really requires you to have political will, which I believe was the main challenge with the last administration. You have to understand that these things impact people every single day of their lives, and having impacted on the lives, the quality of lives of citizens, they expect a greater degree of service, they expect a greater degree of responsiveness from the Ministry of Public Utilities and their public officials who they have now elected.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program, and I know tonight you are elated and happy. I can see it in your voice. So this Dolly lady trying to make herself. She's trying to make herself relevant. For 9 years, she was irrelevant. So she's using every opportunity now to be relevant, to make herself relevant. We must ignore her and have none of her. So tonight, I want to bless the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister of this country. Blessings to her with good health and strength. And of course, the citizens and Dolly who questioning, the lady campaigning months in the dew, in the rain, sun, the lady campaigning. She's not a young person. She get a little cold, so what? You, good health and strength, and did nothing good for your country to date. Lady, look, you wash your mouth and stay out of people's business. I try to do something good for this country. And I want to bless her side. She repealed that demerit point system. We have no more demerit point system in this country. I wonder how PC Suklal from the borough feeling tonight, and Rohan Sinan and all of them, and Brent Batson, who work in collusion with Rohan Sinan. Now, I want to know how they're feeling now. You all try to suffer the citizens of this country. We will have none of that. God will richly bless the Prime Minister for doing what she did. She promised that on the platform that she will fix this country, make citizens happy, and I tell you tonight, I and many people, the amount of people call me, are so happy because that was like a big load we carried on our head. And so that's fella Stuart who want to know, who say condemning the Troyan Hospital and to change that name. Yes, Stuart, we're going to change the name because you couldn't come up with an idea. You couldn't make a suggestion what name we should use on the hospital. So I am going to give you the name. We are going to call it the PNM Mental Health and Rehabilitation Hospital. That's the name we're going to give it. You must go there and to rehabilitate because you're suffering from mental health issues. Sindura, Sagram Singh, Dolly must go there, and all of them must end up in that hospital because all of you have mental health issues. So that is the name we're going to name the hospital, right? I hope you're happy tonight. So, Mr. Said, God bless you, man. You played a very important role in getting this demerit point system repealed. You and your program man will fix this country. I keep telling you this country will fix. God bless you and your staff, Mr. Said. Keep up the great work you are doing to fix this place.
Thank you, my friend. Now, viewers, meanwhile, soon-to-be ex-chairman of the Water and Sewage Authority, Ravindra Nagar, have stated that the decision not to renew the contracts of some 400 employees was not done out of malice. Nagar responded to complaints that the workers hired as field surveyors were being sent home without warning. Nagar explained that the employees hired in December last year were short-term employees whose contract ended on April 30th. He added that a request was made to extend that contract, but the chairman, he decides against it. So Trinidad and Tobago, just to make it clear, is the chairman who decided against it and not the ex-chairman. I just want to make that clear with you. Call a good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
This guy, Ravinanga, he is nothing compared to his father. His father was a true gentleman, Jai Gobind Nanga. Even though he was a PNM advocate and whatnot and a member. But he was a real gentleman. I've known him personally. Ravi was nothing to do with him. But by the way, for the longest while, seeing water scheduling on the papers and on the news and whatnot, I have never seen water scheduling for Westmoreland and Federation Park. All the best. Have a great evening.
Well said, well said. Well said, my friend. President of the Route 3 Unified Maxi Taxi Association, Vikash Kisundat, have stated that he is hopeful the new government present solution rather than empty promise as it relates to several challenges the association has been plagued with over the past years. Speaking in an interview with Real Talk Studios, he outlined some of the issues. Listen to this.
One of the issues that we will have been plagued with for a while now, and we see no sort of resolution anytime soon, is the PH and the panel van issue. In all of Route 3 areas, all the different zones we have that issue going on. Then we have the issuance of the PBR passes from Mount Hope to head into Port of Spain, together with the express lane from San Fernando to Port of Spain that we've been asking and begging the government for years.
So at least one thing he clarified, that he was begging the government for years. The past administration begging the government for years, and what the past administration did? Absolutely nothing. What did the Works Ministry did? Nothing. Nothing. Among the restrictions, he said, many must be amended. He mentioned that one of the theme is the demerit point system. He also said construction work needs to be done on all of Route 3 stand. Listen to this.
Not only Route 3, but I mean to say it's a nationwide thing. We need some infrastructure work. When we have inclement weather, passengers have to suffer in the rain, suffer in the sun, according to whatever the harsh elements of the weather throws their way. Right? We are willing to work hand in hand with the government to get this done.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, warm welcome for newly appointed Trade, Investment and Tourism Minister when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and the team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over,
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
Trinidad and Tobago newly appointed Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Mr. Maraj, was warmly welcomed at the ministry earlier today as he officially began his tenure at the ministry at Port of Spain headquarters. The Sasha Cosmetic founder, over 45 years of business experience, have nurtured a homegrown brand into 50 market and topped Amazon charts. Minister Marad says he is looking forward to working with his team.
It's a pleasure being here for the first day, meeting the entire team, and I want to say I'm very excited when I meet the people here to see the enthusiasm. I was very warmly welcomed. I was ready to feel at home, and I look forward to working with this rock star team to move the country.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we at Real Talk would love to welcome Trade, Investment and Tourism new Minister Satyakama Maraj to Trinidad and Tobago business world. Even though he is in the business industry already, we want to thank him for being a big minister of investment, because thus far we haven't had a proper investment minister for our country. What type of investment our country has? Can somebody say something? What type of investment our country has presently? Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Said. Good night to your showman, and well done. As I used to always tell you, you have a big part to play in this country where governance is concerned. So it's bye-bye with the demerit points. That is for one. Okay? So nobody can take your permit again and give you no demerit points. All right, sir? The next thing, sir, is where the PH and pulling bull and the taxi work that taking place without taxi badge. Somebody got to do something to make that taxi badge easier to access to people. Because when things get hard and you have a little motor car and you can't get a police record to get a taxi badge, what you will expect the people to do? You can't expect me to have a family to mind, Mr. Saeed, have a private car. I seen people walking their private car, but I can't get a police record, so I cannot obtain a taxi badge, and I go sit down and wait for my family to suffer. I go get up and walk my car, because I have my car. Right? Type 2. Number 3. Welcome to the Minister of Public Utility. But I want that man to make sure and check and see every man that we paying $120,000 in WASA, if he is still there and holding that position, we the country need to know what is his position and what is his performance and what is his role to obtain $120,000 per month. As our Prime Minister rightfully said, we need to cut back. If we don't need him, get rid of him. You have a nice.
Thank you, my friend. Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Reflecting on trade mission to Ghana, Marad said, there are opportunities for greater collaboration with Africa. He was speaking with the media after he was sworn in on Wednesday.
170 million people. Republic Bank has 42 branches in Ghana. They have a base over there. But it takes 2 days to get to Ghana. But a big Airbus can go in 8 hours, straight across. If you cannot visit, you cannot do business. So we have to open that market and negotiate.
Open the market. Moving along, Trinidad and Tobago. The Minister of Health, Dr. Lakram, has confirmed that the government is moving ahead with plans to open the Couva Children's Hospital and may recruit foreign nurses if needed. Well said. Well said. He said the facility, equipped since 2015, will be commissioned in phases, starting with staff relocation and new recruitment. While hundreds of doctors are currently unemployed, Dr. Lakram noted that additional nurses will be required, and once the local labor pool is depleted, consideration will be given to sourcing nurses internationally. The health minister maintained the 230 bed at the Couva Hospital with MRI and CT scan unit cannot be left idle and will help ease the health system in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this.
There are vacancies for doctors. As you know, there are several hundred doctors who are available, who are unemployed. I have asked for each of the RHAs to provide a listing of how many doctors have applied for positions, so I'll have a figure of how many doctors are seeking employment. So I believe that that there will be no issue when it comes to doctors. Both at the junior level and the senior level, there are many senior doctors as well now who are looking for positions.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we're here in Trinidad, right? Even in Tobago, we know the pain and the suffering when we go to the health centers, the hospitals. There have been complaints right here in Trinidad that nurses and doctors cannot get jobs, and they sometimes seek their visa to go to Europe, England, and even in the United States to do nursing, to do doctor work, to be a specialist. So the first thing I want to see Dr. Lakram doing is hiring local nurses and doctors and midwives for the hospitals in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Terence Yalsing said, we have the best health care. If we have the best health care in Trinidad and Tobago, why the hell we have shortage of nurses and doctors? Why? Now, Minister Lakram said one of the major challenges he inherited was a $500 million debt owed to suppliers, which has to be cleared as soon as possible. However, President of the National Nursing Association said the recruitment of foreign nurses will be problematic. Listen to this.
There's no foreign nurses for him to bring in. The foreign nurses, there's no foreign nurse, with the exception of Cuba, willing to come to Trinidad and Tobago to work for less than they can work for anywhere else in the world. So that's a non-starter.
Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Okay, listen. Number one, all those persons who are responsible for managerial positions within, like for instance, the RHs, also the general people responsible for maintenance of facilities, like the San Fernando Regional Health, the hospital. They ought to be fired, because if it is you are being paid a salary to ensure that the facilities are maintained, and you're not doing your job, you ought to be fired.
True.
Similarly, that of the Prime Minister's office, you have a management team responsible for the facilities. And if you allow it to run down like that, you ought to be fired.
Correct.
No, Saeed, ED Stewart, well, ED is IDI, it's an abbreviation for idiot, right? And I'll tell you why I'm saying this. ED Stewart is saying that he does not see it necessary for the reopening and the Cuba Children's Hospital. Check what the Prime Minister said. Based on when they initiated the opening of that hospital, the Burns unit, the Point Lisa area, you know, so much children want to die in Policy General Hospital. Yeah? What they're doing is now, and then with this new thing with the government announced for the election campaign, that school children who are suffering with IAS and other problems, medical problems, will be able to go to these facilities there and get proper medical attention.
Correct.
So you've seen hundreds or even thousands of children be going there. Now the last thing I want to mention, Saeed, Mr. Maraj, Trade Minister, mentioned that Republic Bank has 42 branches in Ghana. Lee Hunt was the man, the PNM man, who was in Ghana, and he was in charge in finance over there.
Correct.
Why I'm drawing this to your attention, Saeed, I saw on the news tonight where Republic Bank is not cutting back.
Credit card to 500 per month.
Credit card and whatnot and things. So what these crooks and these criminals did, just like what Neil and Marcy and them do here, is take our taxpayers' money where they make it, instead of investing it here, and go and investing it in Guyana, just as Republic Bank take our money and go and invest it in Ghana, and now you have to cut back on the credit card and all this kind of thing, Saeed. People have to make jail. And then when you listen to the press conference tonight with the Prime Minister, the Cabinet press conference, when she said that the shortfall and the corruption that takes place and the drain the treasury, people have to be held accountable and have to face jail, Saeed. This is no ordinary matter. Understand what I'm saying, brother?
Yes. So, thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, one thing I would love to see, the government do, the Ministry of Finance, hopefully in the weeks to come or in the days to come, is that we have an unrest matter where $2.6 billion is missing. Why am I saying this? Jaiwanti Ramdas, the Auditor General Office for Trinidad and Tobago, that audits the taxpayers' money on how it is being spent. There are bills. There are money being spent with no bills attached. There are monies that are being spent that cannot be accounted for. Together with $2.6 billion. Klangenberg said, check clearance system at Republic Bank. But yet, they took Jaiwanti Ramdas to the Privy Council all the way down in England. And a Privy Council individual asked the media, why is Colin Inwood not being investigated? So what I would love to see in the coming days or weeks from the Ministry of Finance is to find out where $2.6 billion went and give the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago comfort. Give them comfort. Because $2.6 billion could probably run Trinidad for a few months. If you didn't know. Call a good night. Hectic and scary were two words used by Attorney General John Jeremy to describe his first day in office, as he claimed the budgetary allocation for legal fees for this fiscal year 2025 has already been spent out by the former People's National Movement PNM administration. He said, when his permanent secretary gave him documents with the fees vote, it had $0 and 0 cents. The AG said he has taken this very seriously and has already spoken with the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago about how he intends to handle this matter. Jeremy said his ministry is now looking at a debt of $70 million. Last fiscal year, 2024, the state also spent close to $158 million in legal fees. During the Standing Finance Committee stage during the budget debate on October 16th, 2024, when Baratarian Sawa MP Saddam Hussein called the $158 million spend one of the single highest in a financial year, then Energy Ministry Stuart Young responded, listen to this.
In a 5-year period, a UNC Attorney General spent over $1 billion in fees, and there's a follow the money trail, I'm sure, as to where some of those fees went.
So how come Faris didn't follow the money? How come you, Stuart, didn't follow the money? 10 years up the road, you're still talking about it. So I wonder if they're blaming Kamala for losing. You see, lawyers in Trinidad got millions of dollars to represent who and to represent what? So John Jeremy now have to put down his foot and recover back money that was spent carelessly. But nevertheless, hopefully in the coming days, we're going to hear something about this. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Go right ahead, you're live.
Oh, yes. Yes, Mr. Ali, good night. I would like you to find out from the Route 3 Maxi Taxi president there. What have they been doing with the funds that they collect from the Maxi Taxi drivers throughout the years that they have been collecting the funds?
Oh, okay. So they pay the fund? The Maxi Taxi drivers pay the fund?
Yes. They pay, every Maxi pays when they exit the stand.
Okay, so what is this? What do they collect that fund for?
What do they collect? $10 a Maxi.
What is it? What is it for? What is the purpose of collecting the $10?
No, we want to know how is the money accounted. How is, what's the money used to buy?
Oh, okay. So you want to know what the money used to buy?
Yes,
but okay.
There's no accountability there.
So I'm asking this question now, right? Just for clarity's sake. Why do Maxi drivers pay the $10?
They pay for better services, so we don't have to go to the government to request funding to do things. So we pay for like a shed to protect our passengers from rain and the elements of the weather, those kinds of things. To upkeep the stand itself, facilities for Maxi drivers to like urinate and so on.
Okay, could you tell me where Region 3 is?
Where Route 3?
Yeah, Route 3.
Yeah, Route 3 is located right by the TTMF building right there in Chaguanas.
Oh, right here in Chaguanas?
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yes.
Well, we will try to find out, my dear. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for raising the question. So money is being collected and apparently no accountability. So we start from the small, go straight up to the big. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, eh? For the last 8 years, being on television, I have demanded a lot from the PNM administration, which we got a lot from. We got a lot from, right? Now, I have also said, on April 28th, a new government won election. They were sworn in. As of yesterday, ministers were still being sworn in. So for the next month or two, I'm not going to pressure them. We are going to highlight some of the issues that they said they are going to deal with. We're going to highlight issues that the PNM said they were going to deal with. And we are also going to try and highlight, follow the money trail. You know, like Stuart used to always say, follow the money. Faris used to always say, follow the money. Stand your ground laws will be coming into effect. Kamala is going to make it easier for individuals to get firearm. If you need it, you apply for it. If you don't, well, we leave it right there. So I was listening to her post-media briefing this afternoon, just before I came on set. And she outlined a lot of issues. She even demanded her education minister to make sure that there are laptops in place for when school open in September. What did Gatsby Dolly do? How many children got laptop? How many? So these are the things, Trinidad and Tobago, we will be looking at in the coming weeks. What Kamala said she will do under the UNC administration and what the PNM said they were going to do where they had 10 years to do it. That we will keep you up to date as the days and the weeks go by. So we have come to the end of our program tonight, viewers, but nevertheless, we'll run tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. and we'll be right back here for Real Talk with Saieed as we go live again. Until then, good night.
throws you a curveball. And you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take